Welcome back, Scorpios. Okay. Um, Scorpios, I feel great today. I don't know if you guys woke up this morning or this is what's coming in, because this reading is going to be what you need to know right now. And I just use my protection oil, which is my Protego Maxima. Um, but yeah, I feel really good, especially in your energy. Like I got to your energy, and I just feel like dancing, dancing, dancing that away. I feel like dancing. Yeah, I don't know, it feels great. Anyway, uh, I don't know if you have allergies or some shit, cause my nose just started running. You know how it is. When we start to get into these energies, weird shit happens to our bodies. But, um, anyway, okay, let's get started. Scorpios, what Scorpios needs to know. Illumination, yes. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this camera. I literally... there. Illumination. Okay, so to me, when I look at this card, it feels like it was, I don't know if you guys seen that movie, The Fog or whatever. I think that's what it was called, The Fog, with Tom Welling. And where it's like filled with fog. This feels like the aftermath. It feels like you guys have been stuck in a mental fog for a really long time, and it's starting to clear up, and that's why like it feels good. It doesn't feel like just mental fog. It feels like an energetic fog. Like it was almost like your intuition was clogged up, like you couldn't see shit, the forest or the trees. It was just it was awful. You couldn't see two steps ahead of you, right? And I feel like that was done for a reason. It was almost a protection for you. It was done because they needed you to not see where you were going. One, so you wouldn't fuck it up. Two, because giving you that information, and this came out in somebody else's reading, right? Coming out with yours too. It's almost like they didn't want to give you the information, because if you don't have that information, if you have like viewing spirits, or like people that are like doing you guys know what I'm talking about, like people that have like that are watching you, like if you have like a ton of flies in your house, or people that are just like astral projecting and trying to get into uh your energy, get into your crown to see information, um just stuff like that. Like we can go deep into it, but that's a lot. um so if you don't have that information, um you know what it's giving. I don't know if you guys have seen Twilight. I did see Twilight. I think I saw it once. I read the books. I love the books. My sister-in-law got me super into the books. The movies came out and I watched them, and I was like, you know what? This wasn't like the book. This wasn't like the book. And I felt the same way. I feel the same way with a ton of movies. Although Harry Potter, pretty fucking accurate. They did miss a lot because obviously the movie would be like 6 hours long, but I liked that one. Also, Hunger Games was pretty close to the books. There was some shit that they switched, which I was like, no. Dune, nothing comes close to Dune. The Dune books are fucking amazing. Every Dune movie has sucked, including the new ones. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. So yeah, it's giving the movie Twilight, where they like the one that has the powers to see the future, or I don't know, some shit. She has some kind of powers. Um anyway, they didn't give her the information of where they were taking Bella or what the fuck ever. I don't know, I'm telling you, I've seen it once. All the movies. And that way the whoever the fuck they were, the Magnum, I don't know. I don't remember what they were called. They couldn't look into her gifts and see where that information was. That's what it's giving. Okay. But now things are starting to, it's almost like you're arriving in a ship and that fog is starting to clear up because you're receiving, uh, you were moving somewhere, but you were being guided there, and now you're reaching a safe space, safe enough that you can see now what's ahead of you, what's coming up, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry, because it didn't make sense to me either. I just say what I'm told. Leadership, yeah, leadership. Um, I don't know why my nose is so runny. Sorry if that bothers anyone, but it's not even like leaking. It's just, it feels like it's runny. Okay, so I'm getting that you're arriving at a camp, right? I don't know if my fucking camera is oily or what, but anyway, you're arriving at a camp. But this camp is actually like, it's not occupied. It's vacant. This is actually your camp. And you're meant to take leadership here. You're arriving to your own camp. This is yours now. This is vacant, and you need to take leadership here, and it's time to start building. It's time to start building it the way that you want to, with a steady foundation, and you're safe here. Nobody can come and fuck up your foundation on anything that you're building here, okay? But it's time to take leadership. It's time for you to step up and take leadership in your life and the foundations that you're building, because at this point there's nobody, at least you're safe enough that there's nobody that can come down and knock down your Legos, if that makes sense. And I just heard Legolas. Why is Lord of the Rings here? I don't know. Maybe you like the Lord of the Rings. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are sick or what. And then I'm trying to like, I don't have anything. Alright, let's start going deeper. And at the bottom of the deck, we have transformation. Transformation. Yeah. I don't know if some of you guys have like a dream to build a like what are those, like the camps where you go to like do enlightenment work? I've actually never been to one. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I keep wanting to say words that are not appropriate, which is really weird. Like I'm trying to say compound, and then I was gonna say the other word, which I'm like, that does not fit here. That is not what we're building here. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where you go like and set up like destinations for people to go and do enlightenment work, like Reiki, and like do yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't think of it right now, to be honest with you. It'll come to me. But that's kind of what I heard some of you guys are trying to build this, because it really does look like a camp, like a kids camp, right? But I'm assuming I'm not reading to any children here. And if you are a child, listen, go play. You don't have to worry about life yet. I don't, yeah, no. Yeah, but it's time for you to take leadership. It's time for you to start building it. If you build it, they will come. It's almost like you're building a business. Oh, shite. What turned around? How do you want this? Yeah, they said what they said. Curiosity, the paranormal. It's almost like you've been blinded for so long that you kind of lost curiosity for all things. It's almost like you were starting to give up hope. I know some of you guys might have said I give up, but honestly, if you still on your everyday, you try to take care of yourself, you try to be a better person, and you listen to tarot, you don't give up. It's like those people that say, "Oh, I give up," but continue to live a life of actually being a better person. They just give up. It basically, you're releasing. You're releasing the strings, the trying to control of trying to get something the way that you want it to come to you, and that's when things start to manifest, right? What you're doing is giving up control. You're not actually giving up on your dream. And I feel for a lot of you guys, um, you're starting to get your curiosity back because you can see now. You can see in front of you, and you can see that it's like starting to appear right before your eyes, right? With the Seven of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you didn't have the courage for this anymore. It feels like you felt like no matter what you did, you weren't good enough. And that's not true. It wasn't that you weren't good enough, it was that the time wasn't right. And there's always, 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 when there's a good energy, there's always going to be a bad energy. There's never, you're just, if you're walking a path where you're trying to do something great for yourself, where you're trying to do something great where it'll help humanity, where you're trying to do something that is above you, you're always going to have energies trying to pull you back, right? Trying to feed off of your negative thoughts, trying to feed off of any addictions that you have that you've are trying to release, you have released, but then it comes back in and you're like, why is this back? You're always going to be pulled back because why would there's always a positive to a negative, right? And you're the positive and the negative is trying to pull you back in, and you need to be transported, protected when you're being transported somewhere else. But you're starting to see clarity now. Things are starting to move, and the fog is starting to lift. Yeah, with leadership, Queen of Wands, determination. Yes, Scorpio. Yes. You guys are now determined. There's something about the red moon. I think there was a red moon on the 21st, right? Of September. I believe there was a super red blood moon or red blood moon. I don't know. Ever since then, it feels like things have actually been starting to move slowly but surely. They've been starting to move, and now it's going to start moving at a faster pace. But now you're determined. You're stepping in to your fire energy. And I know you guys are water, but you guys are like, I would say, the fieriest of waters there is, right? Um, but yeah, you guys are stepping into your Queen of Wands energy with the lovers at the bottom. You're allowing yourself to love again. You're allowing yourself to have hope and to love the things that you love. You were afraid to hope again, is what I'm hearing. And that's really sad because I understand that. I think at some point or another, we've all been there. But you're allowing yourself to hope, and not only hope, but hope big. Dream big, right? Yeah, you've got determination here with the lovers at the bottom. Yeah, you're allowing yourself to just believe and start building from that belief. And once you build a foundation out of honest, true love, unconditional love, even if it's just yours, that foundation is unbreakable. Yeah, with the Six of Cups, this is something you've wanted for a really long time. This is something you've wanted for a really long time since you were, I even hear like past lives. This is something you've wanted to do for a really long time. And it's now happening because chains have been broken, karmas have been cleared. Um, you now truly believe in yourself, and now you truly have not abandoned yourself in this lifetime. And so now is a time, and the energies are right. The energy is right. Like it feels like if you think about even like, let's say 30, 40, 50 years ago, like women weren't even allowed to date. And if you're a masculine, you know it was different, but who knows what you were in a past life, right? But women weren't even allowed to vote in the 1960s, right? Um, and so how could they build a commune? That's what I was thinking about, a commune. or, built a business. Like, it was, no. At that point, we had already been so pushed down and put into a tiny little box that we weren't allowed to do shit. Like, women were allowed to get, be in ABUSIVE relationships, and half the time, like, nobody would do anything. Yeah. You guys might also have like a lot of past lives remembrances when you're having dreams where you're there, things are happening, but it feels like that it's not a dream. It feels like you were actually, like, it was actually happening to you. That's a past life remembrance. When it feels foggy and it feels like it's a dream and it's just like weird shit happening, that's a dream. When you feel like you're actually walking through it and you're actually doing it, and then you wake up and you were like, whoa, that's either one, astral traveling. You're viewing. You don't really like. It's also different from astral traveling. But when you're actually having past life remembrances, it's almost like it's happening again, but it feels very vivid. If that makes sense. Let me get one more for leadership. You're also releasing memories, like negative memories. You're releasing everything from the past. You're releasing all that shit. You're understanding that all that stuff was really just like lessons, but not just like lessons like, okay, yeah, I get it. That lesson was really hard. Let's move the fuck on. Who cares already, right? With the Four of Cups. With the Four of Cups in reverse, yeah, you're starting to let go of everything and things that no longer, you were hoarding feelings, you were hoarding emotions, you were hoarding things that you didn't need to hoard. And you're releasing that. You're now seeing that everything that you need is coming to you, and you can release everything. Everything, 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 including those memories of the past, right? With the Five of Swords in reverse, defeat. Yeah, you felt defeat. And no, now you feel in your power. You feel powerful. You feel like, no, it just wasn't the right time. It's time now. And you feel like you can do this, and you're taking leadership of your life, and um you're allowing yourself to just be shown and allowing yourself to follow, right? Okay, let's go a little bit deeper. Death. Yeah, you guys have gone through a death process. You guys have gone through, and the star at the bottom, death and the star. You guys have released, you guys have allowed a death and a rebirth process to happen, especially with transformation here. And I feel like that's allowed you to release a lot of the shit that you've gone through. And when I say shit that you've gone through, I'm not talking about like, I know I'm not one to sit here and be like, oh, like, yeah, I was just, my parents were mean. No, I know what it's like to go through some shit and shit. And it's all of it. It was all of it. The seeds that were planting deep, deep, deep down within you that it was, you just couldn't get, and it took other toxic things to get in there, and it took walking through hell to be able to get to those seeds, right? It took just being dragged and just being hit over the head over and over and over again with just lessons and lessons and lessons, and being put in places where you felt like you were just never going to get up again, or where you felt like you just didn't want to get up. But it was all worth it. Like, I'm hearing birds chirping, I'm hearing like um there's air coming in, like it just feels like I just woke up to a brand new life, and I feel like that's what you guys are going to feel like, Scorpios. And you guys are releasing all of that, and it's because you guys were put in hermit mode. You guys were put in a state of pressure and a feeling of lack, And there was so much being taken away from you so that you could understand that none of that shit mattered, and that things could be so much worse, and that you really are blessed to have even the little bit of the things that you guys had, right? Even when it was, um you know, you were homeless. I've been homeless. I was grateful at that time to have the health that I had, which wasn't even great back then, but it was better, and that we were okay and safe, right? It was like that. It was almost like you were going through boom after boom after boom, but it was because let go, let go, let go, let go. Let go of all that stuff. They're just programmings that almost like turned into AI and learned how to hide. And every time you tried to go in, it would move and you couldn't catch it. And that was not allowing you to come into this new place where you believe in yourself, because all you were told and you were pushed down and pressured into a box and kept giving up on yourself and kept abandoning yourself. And so you trusted no one and nothing. With the Ace of Cups. And now you trust yourself. You love yourself wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. You love yourself. You would never abandon yourself ever again. Even if nobody else believes in you, you will never abandon yourself ever again. With the Seven of Wands, you now have your boundaries up. If anybody tries to come near you and tries to take anything from you, oh, they're going to learn. They're going to learn. They're going to learn never again, never again, never again, never again, Scorpios. You guys have learned. And finally, you were able to purge out those ideas that you aren't good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you can't do this, that you can't do that. Every time you try something, it doesn't pan out for you. And it's because you gave up on yourself before even starting. Even though your heart was in it, there was always that seed of doubt. That thought of when somebody told you, that somebody important, a mother, a father, an uncle, somebody that you loved, said, you're not good enough to do that. And I know you've been told that. And I just saw 2222. 222. That was bullshit. That was projection. But when you're a child, you don't know what the fuck projection is. You're a child. And this is a man that's supposed to love you and protect you. Or a mother that's supposed to love you and protect you, and saying you're not good enough to do that. Instead of saying you can do anything you want in this world. You were told differently. And you believed it because it wasn't one time. You were pushed down your whole fucking life. And it took you almost being broken, or maybe even being broken, to heal yourself and rebuild yourself without all those false idealisms, without that log in your eye. Oh, Scorpios. Alright, let's get you a postcard from Spirit. Dearest you, we have a secret to share with you. If you act as if all is well, it will be. Act as if you are brave and you will have courage. Act as if you are loved and you will be a magnet for love and experience the love of Spirit. Act as if your prayers have been answered, as if you are truly in sync with good fortune. How you think is how you will see the world. Interact with it and draw conclusions from it. If you want to be the person who has the life you want, co-creating and loving what is yours, you need to start acting as if that were the truth. Sorry. Don't worry, the conditions in your life that seem empty or cavernous, chaotic, or barren, these are temporary and don't even count. Defy them and act as if you're the luckiest person on the planet. You will be, and for you are already. That's the real secret. Your infinite potential. Loving you so much, rainbows explode in the ether. Aww. I love that though. I love it when it comes together with the reading too. I love that. Scorpios, I love you guys so much. And I hope you guys love yourself so much. And I know that everything's coming together. Okay? I'll see you guys soon. Bye.